We're going to talk about the Jacoby forcing raise this morning. Jacoby forcing raise is one of those enhancements that a lot of people like to call a systemic improvement. When you add it to your bidding box, they call things like the Jacoby forcing raise and splinter bids and Bergan raises improvements because they are very, very helpful. Number one, in helping you find big fits, and number two, in determining the degree of fit. Particularly, Jacoby Two No Trump is useful that way. Splinters also can be very useful in determining the degree of fit, but you have to be careful about using splinters if you have more than about 11 or 12 high card points, because it takes up so much bidding space to show a splinter. A splinter is a double jump, or one level beyond the forcing raise, which is the jump shift. Splinter bids are a double jump shift. They show a game going hand with 4-card support and shortness in the suit bid. The Jacoby forcing raise likewise shows an opening hand with 4-card support, but I've been known to use it many times when my hand is not balanced, but it's too strong, I think, to use a splinter bid. So it has more than one. A lot of people like to say it's a balanced hand. Well, yes, most of the time it will be balanced or semi-balanced, but occasionally it's not. So the value in using Jacoby Two No Trump is not in finding games. We have lots and lots of ways to get to games, especially if you use 2/1 bidding system. But it's the rebids with the Jacoby forcing raise that make it so useful. Now, there are a couple of caveats here. Number one, you have to have an opening hand. So you will never see pass, one of a major, pass, 2 no trump should never be the Jacoby forcing raise. It should be the old 2 no trump response over a major suit opening, promising 2-card support, balanced hand, and 11-ish points, something like that. The other time you don't use the Jacoby forcing raise is if there's been an interfering bid. We have other ways of dealing with interference, notably the Q bid that can be used, or if the opponent's double, then Jordan or Truscott, depending on where you live in the United States, shows essentially the same thing, 4-card support, but promises limit raise or better values. So there are other things to use if the opponents interfere. So Jacoby Two No Trump generally is off with any kind of interference. The only thing is you must have a game going hand. You must have 4-card trump support. Don't ever do it with only 3. The reason that Jacoby Two No Trump is so informative and so useful is because it promises 4-card support. It promises a big fit. Now we know we're going to game at least. The question then becomes, do we have more? And how does this convention help us decide whether we have more? Well, you start with the opener's rebids. Openers' rebids are alertable with the possible exception of the direct jump to game. Opener goes directly to game if he has a dead minimum opening hand with no shortness to show. That just says, thank you very much, partner, for the nice response, but this is just a regular old everyday hand. There's nothing special about it. I don't have any shortness. I just have my requisite 12 high card points with a little bit of distribution, and so I think game is all we have. Notice, I have not said that there is a ceiling on the number of points promised by Jacoby Two No Trump. It is unlimited. Responder could have the World's Fair in his hand. 22 points. Maybe he was planning to open 2 clubs and partner opens one of a major and he has a Jacoby Two No Trump response. This is something that a lot of people forget. There is no limit. And just because you're a partner, the opener stops in game, doesn't mean that you as responder holding a really nice hand can't go on. It's just that opener has said, this is all I have. But it's the one who knows who goes on. And if responder knows, then he can certainly go on by Q bidding a control or by just bidding for no trump, which here's another point. Jacoby Two No Trump and Splinter bids set the trump suit. Absolutely. It says we are playing this major suit as trumps. I mean, it's always possible if you get into your slam exploration and you can count 13 tricks that you might bid 7 no trump. But don't hold your breath waiting for that day. 99% of the time, you're going to play in some number of your agreed upon trump suit, at least at the game level. Most of your slams will be small slams in that major suit. So we've set the trump suit. And if responder has a big old hand with nothing that contradicts the use of Blackwood, then he can bid for no trump, even though the opener has said, I'm a dead minimum. That's perfectly acceptable. So if opener just goes straight to game, he says, just don't have a thing else to share about this hand, partner. But 3 of the trump suit shows a better than minimum opening hand, that invitational level, at least with a 6-card suit. When you rebid the suit at the 3 level, that promises 6 of them. Now, if you bid 3 of a side suit, that shows shortness. Some people say 3 of a side suit shows a singleton and 4 of a side suit shows a void. That's one way that you can show shortness, or you can say that 3 of a new suit shows a singleton or a void, one of the two, and 4 of a side suit shows a second 5-card suit that is a source of tricks. That means it's not jack high or queen empty fifth, something like that. It's a source of tricks. Obviously, if you have a second 5-card suit, you have some shortness somewhere. You either have a doubleton and a singleton in the other 2 suits, or you have 3 in one of the suits and a void in the other one. So bidding that second side suit at the 4 level strongly implies shortness in the other 2 suits. Now, sometimes you have a hand that's in that 1 no trump opening range, but you couldn't open a no trump for whatever reason. Maybe you have 14 high card points and you count that 5th card in your major suit as 1 point. Some people will open 1 no trump with that. Others will not. When you have a better than dead minimum hand, but you lack a 6th card in the major suit, the rebid is 3 no trump. It denies shortness anywhere, but it says, I'm not on the dead minimum 12s, partner. I have a little better than that. My hand is pretty balanced, but I don't have a 6th card either. And some people have agreed that they can pass that 3 no trump response, but you've got a 9-card major suit fit. You're not going to find very many people who are going to end up playing no trump when you have a 9-card major suit fit. There are just too many times that you can make more in a major suit than you can in no trump. Now, obviously, if you're overpowered, as they say, in that 27 to about 30 point range, you can generally make 4 or 5 no trump without breaking a sweat. And sometimes it is preferable to play no trump. But when you have used Jacoby Two No Trump, you have set that major suit as the trump suit. So I personally think that agreeing that you can pass that 3 no trump bid defeats the purpose of using Jacoby Two No Trump. If you wanted to play no trump, you just need to forget about using Jacoby Two No Trump. Jacoby Two No Trump is used not for finding games, but for determining the degree of fit between 2 hands. That's where its value lies. Now then, don't forget, these rebids by opener are not natural, so they need to be alerted, with the possible exception of the jump directly to game. That's pretty self-explanatory, and that is considered by many to be natural. So, at any point during the auction, when either partner just goes directly to the game, that is a sign-off attempt. That's the weakest action that he can take. If the other hand is very strong, that doesn't mean that the bidding has to end. You can always go on. But a retreat to the game in the agreed upon major is an attempt to sign off. And you should give serious consideration to your partner's statement that he thinks that it's best to sign off in the game. Now, non-Trump suit bids following the opener's rebids are control showing bids. They are not offers to play in another suit. Just says, don't know if you're interested here, but I happen to have a control in this suit. Does that help us or hurt us? Rick, I'm going to advance to slide 5 now.
Okay.
Sometimes the opponents interfere. Jack Kelo used to interfere in 2 club auctions and Jacoby Two No Trump auctions all the time. His reasoning is very few people have agreements on how to deal with interference, and I can just cause all kinds of trouble if I throw in a bid, because most people don't know what to do. So if you're going to play Jacoby Two No Trump, it's important for you and your partner to have an understanding about how you're going to deal with interference from one of your pesky opponents. And believe me, it's in the job description of opponents to be pesky. So if they can, they will. Now, a double by opener, let's say that I'm the opener and I've opened 1 spade, next person passes. My partner bids 2 no trump and I say alert. And the next person bids 3 diamonds. Well, I was going to show shortness in diamonds by bidding 3 diamonds. Double by me in that instance says, hey, partner, that's my short suit. That's my short suit. Didn't bother me at all that he bid 3 diamonds. I don't care that he has diamonds. I'm short in that suit. So if you have losers in that suit, we don't have very many of them because I'm short. Now, if you bid that suit, diamonds, let's say, at the 4 level, if I bid 4 diamonds instead of doubling, I'm showing my partner a void. So any kind of action that relates directly to the suit overcalled or thrown in there to be interference shows either a singleton, shortness, or if I bid it at the 4 level, I'm showing a void in the suit. Now, if the opener rebids something else, now you and your partner have to talk about what that means. It can either be natural or it can be control showing, depending on what you and your partner would think would be most useful. When you have used Jacoby Two No Trump, in general, controls are valuable information to know, but sometimes knowing of a second suit is equally valuable. So you and your partner would have to talk about what a bid of a new suit, say if I now bid 3 hearts over that opponent's 3 diamond interference, what does that mean? Does that mean I'm short in that suit? A lot of people say, hey, if you still have room to bid the suit where you're short, do it. So you could say that, hey, this shows heart shortness, or it could be, I have a heart control, or it could be, I have a second suit in hearts, partner, depending on how you and your partner want to play that call. If the opener rebids 3 no trump, now instead of saying I have 14 or so points, 15, lack a 6th card, it would show a control in the suit that was overcalled. That makes pretty much sense, doesn't it? If I now bid no trump, it says, hey, I have a stopper in their suit. 3 of the major now still shows 6 cards in the suit with that 16 to 18 point range total value and a stopper in the suit that was bid. And a stopper. And of course, openers jump to 4 of the major, just says, well, in light of this interference here, partner, my hand's not terribly good for going any higher than game. So I think that we should just go to game, and that's all. If the opener passes, remember, responder has another opportunity to bid. And the 2 No Trump is game forcing. So if the opener passes, it is what's known as a forcing pass. It says, I have nothing useful to say here, partner. You needed to decide where we need to go from here in light of this interference. Now, responder can bid on if he thinks that's the right thing to do, or if he decides that he thinks that he needs to punish that overcaller. He knows that he and partner have game going values. And this is why, or this is the way you teach people not to interfere in your auctions. People like Jack Kilo did that because their opponents didn't know how to handle the interference. When you know how to handle interference, you can double people who interfere very rudely and sometimes get way more than you could have gotten had you played the hand yourself. That teaches people that you know what you're doing and that they should not interfere in your auction. Go interfere in somebody else's auction, not mine, because my partner and I know how to deal with this. You're not going to throw us for a loop, so don't be picking on us anymore. Now, if the person sitting in the direct seat following one of a major, let's say bids 1 heart, the next person doubles, as I mentioned earlier, responder who might have been planning to use the Jacoby forcing raise can either redouble if he has 3 card support, or maybe he doesn't have any support at all, but if he has a game going hand, he can redouble, or he can bid 2 No Trump, but instead of promising game going values, it promises limit raise or better values with 4 card support. So that's the way that responder can convey that, hey, well, I do have good support for you, partner, and I have at least limit raise values. If opener rebids minimally and responder has more than a limit raise, he can then bid the game, or he can move on even further. But this is the way you deal with pesky opponents. People have found out, particularly with newer players who are maybe new to playing Jacoby Two No Trump, that they can often cause problems. And they're happy to do it. There are some people who love to make people miserable at the table. They get their jollies that way. So it's really important when you're learning a new convention, and not just this one, that you decide how you're going to bid if the opponents interfere, whether it's inverted minors or new minor forcing, any of those. You need to decide, what do we do if one of our opponents interferes? That's what you do if somebody interferes in your Jacoby Two No Trump auction. These are standard agreements. If you want to use something else, that's fine. But just remember, bids that are not natural need to be alerted. So here are some examples of rebids by the opener following one of a major past 2 No Trump pass. Here's an example hand. This is your common garden variety minimum opening hand that happens to have a singleton in clubs. So his rebid is 3 clubs. Partner, I have shortness in clubs over here, and it needs to be alerted. Yes, everybody generally knows that a new suit at the 3 level is shortness. That doesn't relieve you of the responsibility of alerting. Here's another example. This hand has a second 5-card suit that, notice, is a source of tricks. You have your choice here. You can either bid 3 spades, showing the spade singleton, or you can bid 4 diamonds, showing a good second suit. up to you. You and your partner decide, hey, if I have this situation, do you want to know about the singleton or do you want to know about my good second suit? Example number 3 here is a hand that is dead minimum, no shortness, absolutely nothing to show to partner. Okay, partner, I trust you. You say you have enough that we have game. This is all I have, 4 hearts. Go on if you think it's appropriate. A lot of Jacoby Two No Trump auctions end this way. But they don't have to. The good part is, yeah, okay, we got to game. Well, you don't need Jacoby Two No Trump to get to game, but that doesn't mean that you don't stop at game a pretty fair part of the time. Now then, because we have the option to rebid showing a 6-card suit with invitational values. This last one, number 4 here, is an example following a 1 spade opening, Jacoby Two No Trump, 3 spades. This is a much better than average opening hand. This hand has 18 high card points in it and is really a little heavy for a 3 spade call. This hand is worth about 20 points. Under some circumstances, some people might be tempted to open 2 No Trump. But the fact that you have a 6-card major should persuade you to open at 1 spade. You have a 5 loser hand, so you really, really are pushing it to open at 2 clubs. This is one of those in-between hands. But once your partner gives you Jacoby Two No Trump, you can say, hey, I have better than the minimum and I have a 6-card suit. This bid pretty much describes this hand here that opener is holding. Now, number 5, look at this one. This is a 14-point hand. It has 5-card heart suit in it. Some people, if you're devotees of Audrey Grant, you might open that 1 No Trump. She advocates 14 high card points plus a 5-card suit is 1 No Trump. That's totally normal. A lot of people play that way. But in this instance, North said, hey, I've got 8 of my 14 points in my heart suit here. This is where I live. I'm going to open 1 heart. And in this case, look at this. This is a balanced hand that's better than that 12-point minimum we were talking about. This hand's values, I mean, look at this. They're all aces and kings except for that 1 lonely jack, but it's in the suit with the ace and king. So it has its full value. This is a good prime hand. Definitely worth the 3 No Trump rebid. Say, I'm nearly good enough to rebid 3 of my suit. The problem is I don't have 6 of them. So this is the way I show this hand. And in this case, some pairs have agreed that 3 No Trump in that instance can be passed. But I think that defeats the purpose of using Jacoby Two No Trump. My partners and I do not do that, but if you want to, that's up to you. And now this final one here is another example of just a common garden variety opening hand. The suit, notice there are 6 cards in the heart suit, but this is not a prime hand. This is a dead minimum. I think there are only 11 high card points in this hand, but it has a 6-card major suit. If my partner doesn't bid something that agrees the trump suit, I have a rebid. And I can rebid it minimally. So I have no issue at all with opening this hand. The suit's not the greatest in the world, but I'm never passing this hand. Never. This is a 7 loser hand, which is your standard opening hand. But even if it were an 8 loser hand, if it has a 6-card major suit in it, I'm not passing. I might look at it very carefully and decide whether it merits a week 2 opening. But with 11 high card points in it, in my book, 11 high card points in a 6-card suit's a 1 bid, not a 2 bid. So the main reason that Jacoby Two No Trump is so popular is because it gives you a really easy way of determining the degree of fit between these two hands. And this is why so many times people say, well, golly, we only had 27 points between us, but we made 6 and it's cold, but I don't know how to bid it. Well, not every hand lends itself to Jacoby Two No Trump. But when you have a tool like Jacoby Two No Trump available to you, you can use it. The main thing that it can help you do is determine whether the values in your side suits are working. Why would they not be working? Well, let's say that I, as opener, want to show my second good 5-card suit that's a source of tricks. So I bid it at the 4 level. And my partner looks at his hand and he says, oh, I have a singleton there. All those nice cards in that suit are not of very much use here. I would rather that those values were in this suit over here because that's where I have losers. And you might think, well, yeah, but declarer can use those nice cards in his second suit to dispose of losers out of the dummy. Well, if he doesn't have the ace, he might have to set up that suit. And you know, when your suit's not set up, have you ever noticed how the opponents seem to be able to sniff out weakness? Maybe they can lead out an ace and king in that side suit where you were planning to dispose of losers, but you didn't get the chance because they get to fire the first shot with the opening lead. So having a second side suit that happens to have values opposite the same suit in your partner's hand that is very short is called a duplication of values or wasted values in the opener's hand. In that instance, that tends to make you think, hey, we probably better stop in game. When we have wasted values, then all of the values are not working. When you go for slam, you need your values to be working, don't you? Rick, I'm changing to the next slide now here.
Before you do, Sherry has a question.
Go ahead, Sherry. Mm-hmm.
On number 3 and 6, the exclamation mark by the 4 hearts, does that mean that that's alertable, that we have to alert that bid?
Yes, that when there's an exclamation point after a bid, that's kind of a universal symbol for alert it.
So what do you say on that one? What's the alert, that you're stopping in game? Or
well, this is not everybody agrees that has to be alerted. There are some places that say all rebids by opener have to be alerted. The possible exception is the game beat. I don't think that anybody would question that at all because it seems self-explanatory, doesn't it? If somebody forgot to alert, say, well, that's a minimum hand, doesn't want to go on any further. Everybody will say, yeah, go on. So now let's talk for a minute about responders, rebid. Now that the bidding on this hand would go 1 heart. Opener is over here on your left, and he opens a heart. Hand on the right is responder's hand. And he says, oh, yeah, I have 14 high card points and 4 hearts in my hand. I think this warrants Jacoby Two No Trump. This looks like a perfect Jacoby Two No Trump call. Opener rebids 4 diamonds, saying, I have a good 5-card suit here. A couple of honors at the top of it. What do you think, partner? Is that helpful to you? Well, now responder knows that king and queen of diamonds are just wonderful cards to have. Just wonderful cards to have. Because there are no voids and no worthless doubletons in his hand, he decides to check and see if there's a possibility that they might have a slam. And he also knows that because partner has 2 5-card suits, that he's got shortness, probably in both of the black suits. Well, notice he has the ace of spades and the king of clubs, so he knows that we're not off too fast tricks here. So it's okay for me to use 4 No Trump here, which is key card for hearts. Comes back over here to opener, and he says, well, thank you very much for asking, partner. I happen to have 3 key cards. So he bids 5 diamonds. And responder now says, oh, 3 key cards. Well, I have 1, and I have the Queen of Trumps. So we're off 1 key card, but we're not off a key card and the Queen of Trumps. So 6 hearts sounds like a wonderful contract to me. And sure enough, only the Ace of Trumps is missing. So this is a good slam. And notice, neither hand has an exceptional number of points in it. They just have a very high degree of fit between the 2 hands. And the bidding of that second 5-card suit let responder know that his King and Queen of Diamonds are worth every bit of their point count and probably more. Here's another example. This one's a little different. We have a 1 heart opening again, followed by a 2 No Trump response. And now opener says 3 clubs. Well, partner, I have a singleton in clubs. And the responder says, oh, well, I wish you'd bid 3 diamonds instead of 3 clubs. I have great clubs over here, but I have 2 fast losers in diamonds. And this just doesn't look very promising at all to me. It looks like my values in clubs are wasted. If I had the same thing in diamonds, it might be a lot better. So he just signs off in 4 hearts. Notice, these hands are really similar to the ones shown above. The only difference is this time responder has values in the suit where the opener is short. Given enough time, he could set up the club suit and take a couple of discards in the diamond suit. But notice, he still has 2 diamond losers, which is what he started with in his hand. So there are always 3 losers here, even though he could set up the King, Queen, Jack of clubs, assuming that the opponents don't lead diamonds. The way my life goes, the opening leader will have the Ace and King of Diamonds in his hand. And if I try to bid 6 hearts with this, then I'm going to be down 2 no matter what I do. So does everybody see how having values in the suit where the opener has shown shortness is not a good thing? Put these cards in the diamond suit, and of course they won't be in the opener's hand. Maybe he'll have the ace instead of the Queen Jack. If that were the case, and having a singleton club here and 3 small clubs or 4 small clubs in responder's hand, well, we're limited to 1 loser in the club suit. We have the diamonds totally controlled. So that shortness in the diamond suit would have been a good thing, but in the club suit, it's a terrible thing. Does not work out well at all, even though opener could use those nice clubs to discard some diamonds if he needed to, but the problem is he may not get the chance. You can't bid slams off 2 key cards here, these 2 aces. You just can't do it. And this is a sign to responder when he has almost half the values in his hand in a suit where opener has shortness that he needs to forget about slam. Totally. Just forget about it.
Susan, there are a couple questions in the chat.
All righty.
Patty asks, how do you choose between bidding 4 diamonds or 3 spades?
Well, this is the matter for you and your partner to discuss. Some people would like to know about the second 5-card suit, and having a second 5-card suit implies shortness in the other 2 suits. So their point is, well, you know that your partner is short in the other 2 suits when they have a second 5-card suit. But other people say, oh no, I would so much rather know about shortness because it enables me to decide if I happen to have values in that suit, whether they're working or not. Well, you can kind of tell if you have values in the second 5 card suit that opener shows, that they are working values. By implication, the other 2 suits are short. Now, it's possible that there's a void and a 3-card suit. So that's why most everyone picks which option they want there, Patty, after, talking with partners.
Okay.
You need to come to some kind of agreement, and it's different for different partnerships as to which one you show in first.
And Joanne Flowers asks, so you show weakness by bidding at the 3 level and another suit by bidding at 4 level?
Well, you show shortness, not weakness, although shortness is not necessarily the equivalent of weakness. It shows control of a suit, at least second round control at the 3 level. And at the 4 level, the rebid by opener should show a second 5-card suit. There are a few people who are so enamored with shortness that they say the bid of a side suit at the 3 level is a singleton, and the bid of a side suit at the 4 level is a void. Most people do not play that way. Most people play that the bid at the 3 level shows shortness. The bid at the 4 level shows a second 5-card suit that is a source of tricks.
And Gail Long asks, in this instance, does opener's rebid of diamonds always mean it's a 5-card suit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Not
Absolutely.
4, it's 5.
Right. It's 5. I think at one point in this slide set, I did have a 4 where there should have been a 5. I don't remember right now where it was, but I think I saw one when I was going through it here. But it is a second 5-card suit. Now, this next hand is a bit controversial also. There are some people who say when you have a dead minimum that has shortness in it, don't show the shortness. That you should just go directly to game and the suit, and that's all. I personally think that if your partner has bid Jacoby Two No Trump, there's no ceiling on that. He could have a very fine hand. And my shortness might be an important point for him. So when my partner bids Jacoby Two No Trump, if I have shortness, I show it. Then my partner will go on here, for instance. If I were going to rebid, I'd rebid 3 clubs here. There are many people who would just bid 4 hearts and forget about it. That heart suit is pretty lackluster, I will admit, but I would probably bid 3 clubs. I don't know exactly what my partner has. He could have 12 or 13 points. He could have 20 points. So I think I owe it to him to describe my hand the best I can. And when I have shortness, I show it. In this instance, though, my partner knows that I have shortness in the club suit. He's looking at his hand and he sees shortness in the diamond suit. He might try to bid. Well, he doesn't have a control that he can show. That is. Well, yes, he does. He can bid 3 spades here, showing a spade control. After a spade control, I don't have a diamond control, so I'm just going to bid 4 hearts anyway. And he'll say, gotcha, you don't have a diamond control, and we'll end up in 4 hearts anyway. Have we told something to the opponents? Yes, we have. But my partner could have had a lot more than he has. He could have had the ace of diamonds and 3 small clubs, in which case he might very well want to go on. That's why I think that even though you're a dead minimum, when your partner bids Jacoby Two No Trump, that you need to describe your hand the best you can to him. Remember, opener's the describer, responder is the decider. But if you don't describe your hand fully to your partner, then you're not being completely fair with him. So in my way of thinking here, I think that you should show 3 clubs, but know that there are people out there who disagree with me. So you and your partner should talk about it, make your own decision. So here's another example. This time West opens a heart, 2 No Trump out of East. 3 No Trump out of West. He has enough in the way of values to rebid 3 hearts, but he doesn't have a 6th card in hearts. So he bids 3 No Trump, saying, more than a dead minimum here. I just don't happen to have 6 hearts. Now then, after that, responder says, oh, that's very helpful. I'm glad to know you're not a dead minimum, but I can't bid Blackwood yet because I have this problem in diamonds. So the best thing for me to do is show my cheapest control. And that is by bidding 4 clubs. Remember, below the game level, this is first or second round control. So 4 clubs. Now 4 diamonds by West. Why, thank you very much, partner. I'm glad to know you have a club control. I happen to have a diamond control. Does that help you? 4 hearts. Why, yes, it does. It does help. It does help. But I still have a bit of a question here. I just don't know. I don't know whether your diamond is a first or second round control. And I can't bid for spades here because that's beyond the game level. And I don't have first round control. Beyond the game level, you need to show first round control. So he just goes to 4 hearts. But Wes says, I know you're interested. You've shown me a control in clubs. I have nice diamonds. And hey, I know you have slam interest. What do you think about if I show you my spade ace? 4 spades says, I have first round control of spades, partner. What do you think now? He says, why, I like it a lot. I like that a lot. Good deal, Lucille. 4 No Trump. 5 diamonds, 2 aces, and the king of trumps here. And then East bids 6 hearts. Notice this is an excellent contract. He can make 7, in fact, if he pitches that club on one of the high spade honors over here. And all he has to do is rough a couple of diamonds in the dummy, and he can make 7. Is 7 there to bid? Well, hard to say. Hard to say. Probably not. This guy has 2 key cards, but he doesn't know about the queen of trumps. He would have to bid 5 spades to ask about the queen of trumps. And most of the time, knowing that partner didn't open 2 clubs and knowing what he has, the likelihood that a grand slam is there is not very great. You need a lot of power to bid a grand, so either a lot of power or a lot of distribution. So if the trump split 2-2, there's a strong possibility that you can make 7. Maybe somebody who's really skilled at bidding and is part of a long-time partnership could bid that and get there. But it depends kind of on trumps being 2-2 because you do need the rough 2 diamonds here. Here's another example. Once again, 1 spade here by West, 2 No Trump by East, 3 diamonds showing shortness. Now the bells start going off in East's head. Oh, yes, I love shortness opposite a suit where I have no values. Not one little bit of my point count is in that diamond suit. That means that my partner and I are working with a 30-point deck here. This greatly increases the chances that we might have a slam. I'm going to see how many key cards we have. 4 No Trump is key card for spades. Remember, Jacoby Two No Trump sets the trump suit. Once again, West bids 5 diamonds, showing 3 key cards. East has the ace of trumps, which is excellent. So he knows they're off a key card. And he's thinking, it's probably the ace of diamonds, but my partner told me that he has shortness in diamonds. It's either a void or a singleton, so I don't need to worry about it. So he bids 6 spades. Do you see how showing this shortness helps people find slams when they otherwise can't? Neither one of these hands are exceptional in terms of high card points or strength. What they have is a high degree of fit. In other words, they have honors working together in their long suits, no wasted values in the short suits. This is a 24 high card point slam here that you're looking at. Most people cannot find a slam when the two hands together have only 24 high card points in them. It's just not terribly likely. But Jacoby Two No Trump is a system of bids that's designed to uncover a high degree of fit. Here's one more example that's kind of interesting, I think. West opens with a spade. He says, well, I got a nice hand here, 6 spades, 1 spade, and then partner bids 2 no trump. Well, fabulous. Partner has an opening hand with 4 card support. We had 10 trump between us. That's great. And I have a 6 card suit, and I have a hand worth about 16 or 17 points. So this is a definite 3 spade rebid. East now shows his control, 4 clubs. West says, oh, love hearing about that club ace. I don't have a control in diamonds to show, so I'll bid 4 hearts here. I have a heart control partner. Does that help you? East says, why, yes, it does. I know you don't have the diamond ace, but I have a stop in diamonds over here. I have second round control of diamonds. I know we're just fine in the spade suit. I know you don't have the ace king of spades because I have it. You have shown me first round control in hearts, and you have shown me a hand that's better than a minimum. I know that you don't have the ace and king of spades, so that those values have to be present in the side suits, and I know it's not diamonds. You denied having a diamond control. When West skipped diamonds to show the control in hearts, he denied having a control in diamonds. So East knows that he doesn't have the ace of diamonds, and he doesn't have the ace king or ace or king of spades. That means he almost has to have lots of values in hearts and clubs. Lots of values in hearts and clubs. So he just bid 6 spades. Just bid 6 spades. If he were to ask, he would get 5 clubs, 1 or 4. That might look pretty scary, having 1 control only. But look at this. He has 3. East himself has 3 key cards. So 1 over here makes 4. Means we're only off a key card. And hopefully, since my partner has shown me 6 spades, I know we have 10 between us. So even if my partner doesn't have the queen, it's liable to drop because there are only 3 of them outstanding. See how much information you can get from this bidding scheme? If you just get really familiar with Jacoby Two No Trump, you can just figure out all kinds of stuff about each other's hands. I mean, this is really a very useful convention if you can learn to use all of it. So this basically is the scoop on the Jacoby forcing raise, as some people call it, or Jacoby Two No Trump as it's known more commonly. We're through a little bit early, so if anybody has any questions, fire away.
I missed a question in the chat, Susan, back on, let's see, this one, I guess.
Wait, I don't know what one that is. What slide number?
Sorry. Number 3.
Okay.
How would the bidding go if you do show your club suit?
Okay. If I, on example number 3, slide 9.
Is that the right one, Joanne?
This says, if I were to show my club shortness, it would go 1 heart, 2 no trump, 3 clubs, shortness in clubs. And then after that, 3 spades as a control in spades would probably be bid by East, skipping over diamonds, West would know that there are no controls in diamonds anywhere, no first or second round control in diamonds, so he would sign off in 4 hearts. You still play only 4 hearts.
So you mean you're showing your second round control in spades?
Yes.
Okay.
With Italian
That's right,
style,
Susan. Thank
which is
you.
what I use, you show first or second round control below the game level and first round control until you go through all of your first round controls, and then second round controls above the game level. The reason for that is once I know that there's first or second round control in a suit, I know there are not 2 fast losers. So now I can use 1430 to find out if it happens I have a second round control and not first, then I won't show a key card and we can still stop in 5. That's the reason I prefer to use Italian cue bidding over more American style, because it tells me when 1430 is in the ballpark much more easily, because I can't show a control until I have exhausted all of my first round controls. I can't show a second round control until I've gone through all my first ones. And sometimes the bidding gets too high and all of a sudden we're past the game level and what do I do? I just find Italian style cue bidding much more informative, but each his own.
Very, very much a matter of partnership agreement.
Yes, absolutely. That's one area where even using control showing cue bids is up to a partnership. Until you get to that point, try not to pull something like that on your partner if it's undiscussed. Most more experienced players will know what those bids are, but that doesn't mean that you should just pull one out of the hat. Makes partners kind of nervous sometimes when you do that. They don't know what the bid means. Ask me. I've been in that spot many, many times.
Is 12 high card points enough to bid Two No Trump?
Yes. Generally, a 12 high card points is considered adequate. A lot of times you have 12 opposite 12, but remember, you have that 9 card fit. That 9th trump is golden. Very often game makes on 22 to 24 points when you have a 9 card fit rather than the 8 card fit. That's why conventions like Jacoby Two No Trump and Bergan or reverse Bergan, either one, are so helpful. They show a high degree of, or a big trump fit. So let's say that my partner opens a spade and I have 4 card spade support, 11 high card points with a doubleton someplace, hands worth about 12 points. When I give him that reverse Bergan raise of 3 clubs showing limit raise with 4 card support, 99 times out of 100, my partner needs to bid the game, even if he's on only a minimum, because you can often make game in a 9 card fit on 2 or 3 points less than it takes to make it on an 8 card fit, simply because you're never getting a 5-0 trump break, are you? 5-0 trump breaks are the pits, in case anybody happens to ask you. And you don't get those. The worst you can get is a 4-0, which will still leave you with a trump in your hand if you find you need to draw 4 rounds of trumps. So there's a huge advantage in having a 9 card set over an 8 card set. So 12 points is considered adequate, yes.
Susan, this is Debbie.
Uh-huh.
I was just thinking about, you were saying that it's partnership agreement, whether to show your shortage as opener versus your 5-carded suit.
Uh-huh.
But if you show your shortage, that's basically a control bid, in my
Yes.
way of thinking.
Yeah,
And
it is.
but
It's a
if you
control, yes. At least.
if you jump up and to the 4 space showing a 5-carded suit,
Well,
You're
it'd be 3 spades. It'd be 3 spades at the 3. You would bid 3 spades. When you have bid hearts as the trump suit, remember that the 3 level in spades is often what the 4 level is in a minor.
mhm.
Otherwise, you go past the game level when you're bidding hearts.
So if you are in, so, but to show, so you couldn't show, if you open hearts, 3 spades, if you bid 3 spades, that is shortage.
Well, think about this. Yes, it has to be, because if you have 5 spades and 5 hearts, which one are you opening
You're
first?
opening spades.
Not hearts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have
So,
it.
yeah, so I was just wondering, if you want to do control bidding with your partner, why would you, if you have a shortage in clubs, why would you go ahead and jump over and bid your diamonds? Then your partner doesn't know about the control that you have in clubs.
Well, he knows that you have most likely a doubleton in one of the other suits and a singleton in the other.
Yeah, but he doesn't know which
Doesn't
one.
know just
So
which.
I'm just talking this out with you in because that's how my mind, where
Well,
my
I
mind
prefer-
is
I prefer
going.
to
So I'm
show-
trying to figure it
I
out.
prefer to show shortness first myself.
You do?
Simply because I'm with you. That shows controls, and the responder is going. The next thing the responder is going to do, unless he has wasted values in that suit where I've shown shortness, is going to show me a control. I mean, we're initiating a control bidding sequence usually, unless we're really not going there. We just don't have the strength to do it. So it seems to me that I prefer showing shortness. I even like to use the 4 level for a void. Believe me, you don't get 2 quality 5-card suits all that often. You're actually more likely to have a singleton than you are to have a second 5-card suit. I mean, you can be 5, 4, 3, 1, and you don't have a choice. 5, 4, 3, 1 is far more common than 5, 5 anything.
Yeah. Okay.
So most of the time you're going to be showing shortness, because two good 5-card suits just don't come along now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you.
Sure. All things to think about.
Definitely.
Somebody else has a hand up. Do we have a question?
I was going to add that when you're showing that second 5-card suit, it ought to be a good suit. I mean, a seriously good suit, a source of tricks.
Source of tricks. Yes.
I mean, it can't be King, Jack, 10 empty.
Well, it shouldn't be queen empty fifth or ace.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So my thought is most of the time you would show the singleton, but when you got that second suit, that good 5-card second suit, yeah, I like show it, but that's just another thought.
Yeah. Well, I would, if I had a really good second 5-card suit, I would tend to bid it too. But most of the time, my second 5-card suit's not worth talking about.
Granted, and then you do show
Then
the
I show shortness. Yeah.
Hi, this is Susan. Thanks for watching this video today. Most of these videos come from our free bridge lessons that we present on Zoom every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Time. If you'd like to join us for those lessons, you can email us at the address shown below and we'll send you the link. If you can't attend the lessons, then feel free to subscribe to our channel and you'll be notified when there is a new one added. Again, thanks for stopping by and we hope to see you soon.